Awesome. Cool. Hello and welcome to Doing Time, where humans talk about their experiences in a psych ward. Today we have actress, comedian, singer, songwriter Becca Brown. How you doing?
Hello, I'm so good. Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. So the first question I always ask is how much time have you done? So that's like in a therapy program or like in a psych ward.
Okay, I have multiple answers, I guess.
Okay.
Therapy, I've been on and off in therapy for 12 years, on and off.
Okay.
And then I spent 3 lovely days in the psych ward at UIC, my alma mater.
Wait, like downtown, kind of?
Yeah, South Loop.
Okay.
I went to college there.
Okay.
And I spent 3 days in their psych ward when I was 19.
Wow. Okay. So you were in college still?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was like Labor Day weekend of my sophomore year of college.
Okay. So that's like total, and then did you do any like outpatient programs or anything like that?
Yeah, I last year did an IOP at Hazelden.
Oh, my brother's been there.
For addiction stuff.
Okay.
But that's it.
Did you like Hazelden?
I did like Hazelden. I was in there there for a while, and then I did their CCG, which is their continued care group.
Oh, okay.
Basically, like after IOP, you do like a couple of some people do a couple days a week. I did 1 day a week, just like it's like a meeting, but
okay.
It's a smaller group, and it's the same 6 to 10 people a week.
Oh, that's nice. So it's like not too many people.
Not too many.
Okay, so you were in therapy way before you were like hospitalized, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I always ask too, like, why did you start going to therapy?
My mom hired a Christian therapist to find out if I was doing drugs and like having like premarital sex, which I absolutely was.
Yeah.
And so that was my first therapist. It was just like a family one where I would go in for an hour, and then and she lived like around the corner from my house, so I would like go in for an hour, and then I'd like walk home, and then my parents would sit with her for an hour after my
Oh my god.
session.
Wait, and how old were you?
16.
And they would do that when you were 16?
Yeah.
It's kind of invasive, I feel like, right?
Well, my mom is Catholic and my dad is Jewish, and they were, when I was in high school, I will say they had a bit of a reason to be concerned.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I was definitely, the first time I got drunk, I blacked out and like puked all over and had like hickeys all over my neck when I got home. So
wow.
If that wasn't like a
yeah. And that was like the first time?
That was the first time I got drunk. It wasn't the first time I drank, but it was definitely like
the first time you
drunk.
Okay. So they were just like,
so they were concerned.
Actually concerned. Okay.
Which I guess as a now hindsight, I would have been concerned for me too. But I still don't know really if they were I think it's just maybe my paranoia that has me still convinced that they hired her to spy on me and stuff, the therapist.
Yeah.
But that also might just be my my psychotic thought.
Yeah. So do you think so you were 16 and then you were hospitalized when you were 19, and what kind of happened between that period? Between high school and college.
So this is I guess the big my origin story, kind of funny.
Yeah.
like a superhero, but
my journey.
My journey.
Yeah.
Please respect my journey, Drew. My journey is that I come from a family with not always drug addiction or alcoholism or anything like that, but everyone in my family has some kind of an addictive personality. So whether it's with food, whether it's with shopping, whether it's codependency.
Okay.
Very codependent family, very no boundaries whatsoever, and so that kind of informed who I became, and
okay.
For most of high school and college, I was incredibly anxious. I mean, I always had social anxiety, and like everything was because my parents put such pressure on me to be a performer.
Yeah.
That, which thankfully I love performing, but you know, to put in a kid's head from like 5 years old, like we know that you're destined to be a star, like that kind of messed with me.
Yeah, of course. Well, because like there's always like a line with everything, you know, like you don't want it to go from like something that you love from something that you need to do, because then once it's something that you need to do, then it becomes a job.
Yeah.
And people don't want it to be a job. You want it to be something that you like wake up wanting to do, not something to like prove a point to your parents.
No, totally.
And especially like, do you think your parents like are your parents like have addictive personalities at all?
Yeah, it's mostly with food for them. Like
my
mom and dad both have. I am not a doctor, so I can't diagnose them with any disorder, but they definitely have some isms with that.
Yeah.
And then like I always say too, like if they drank, they'd probably be alcoholics.
Okay.
You know, they don't really drink, so it's like there's no way of knowing, but I don't know.
But it's a type for sure.
It's definitely like now knowing like kind of the patterns and stuff, like having worked on, you know, myself in therapy and like in a couple 12-step programs, like I know like I know where I got those kind of isms from.
Okay.
Like I can tell.
Yeah. At least you know that. I feel like a lot of people takes like.
It's nice to be on the other side of knowing.
Yeah.
Because I was so. In high school and college, like I go back and I like read, because I did keep a lot of my journals. I like go back and I read them, and the cries for help in there, like the questioning of like, you know, oh my God, is there something wrong with me? Like I think I don't think anyone experiences heartbreak the way I do.
Oh yeah, like you're different than everybody else.
I'm different than everyone else. Nobody is as psycho as I am. Like I have like, a chronic. Like I just had like a chronic like masturbation thing. I like had a you know food stuff too, but like mainly.
So it's always like obsessions or like addictions, kind of
very
manifesting.
Obsessive. I was never diagnosed with OCD, but like I definitely like with people would get so attached and so addicted to people so quickly. That like it would just like gut me when I would get broken up with for stalking somebody, like and for getting like fully like addicted to a person.
Wow. Okay.
So that was like, so I tried to commit suicide over a boy when I was a sophomore in college, and that's what led to me getting hospitalized. Okay. So like I'm glad that it happened, because I wouldn't know, you know, kind of the patterns if I hadn't done that. And like the sick thing was that, and I feel comfortable talking about this now. Yeah. But like I cheated on him, and then he broke up with me, which is the correct thing to do. Right. And then I tried to kill myself over that. Okay. It was like a combo of the guilt and also like, I won't be. How will I survive without this person that I kind of don't even really like that much? Like I didn't even really like him that much. There were things that I was like, this is bad. Like nobody, like you shouldn't be in a relationship with somebody who tells you how to dress when you go to like meet his parents. And I knew that, but still it was like the high of having a person.
And I think with those people specifically, like it's so easy to have low lows, but then those high highs almost counteract them. Yeah. Because when people like I just like, not from personal experience, but like I hear a lot about like codependency, and also like a lot about like abusive relationships, where like the reason why sometimes people don't leave is because the relationships fluctuate so much that like at the high highs, like it's almost like they make up for those like those like, oh, this is what you need to wear, or oh, you look like a slut, or like blah 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 blah. Like it almost like makes up for that, because like the times you laugh together and whatever.
A little too tomboyish, and he like his.
But then like that's
he was also really insecure about the fact that I was like bisexual and like openly queer when I was like that age. Like I was.
You probably like felt like
openly queer when I was in high school, which I mean, not that like unheard of in like 2020. No. But in 2000 and it was different.
Right.
And so, like, when I was in college, it was just, I was, like, the first, a lot of people were like, you're the first queer woman I ever met. And I was like, that's crazy to me. I'm like, you probably know a lot.
Yeah, that's, like, that's really weird.
Know it,
yeah, that's really weird, because, like, I feel like, I don't know.
Especially in Chicago, like, I guess it's different, because, like, a lot of people that go to UIC are, like, from, like, middle of nowhere Bufu, Illinois, or, like, you know, other Midwest states.
Springfield.
Like,
yeah, so it's like, and not to say there's anything bad about that, but it's just like, it's less of like a
I celebrate that even.
Yeah. It's less of like a, oh, I'd like feel weird if you told me that. And I think a lot, like at DePaul, like I went to DePaul, everyone's like hipster and gay and like open and liberal and like, which is cool, obviously, like I'm for it.
In theater school, like, right? Did you go to school for theater?
No, but I like just, I met a ton of theater kids there because I took some theater classes for credits, and I met like a ton of people who were like hipstery and like openly bi and like whatever, and like it was like really cool. But I just think like in high school also, like everyone kind of knows each other, so it's like, oh my god, and everyone goes, oh, we don't care, but we just want to let you know they're bi or they're this or whatever, and it's just like, okay, that doesn't make a difference. But like, so like, was there like a final breaking point? So basically, okay, this is what I want to ask. So you went to the hospital because like you broke up with him, and like, what like led you there? Why did you commit? You just didn't think you could live with like without him? Or,
I was really drunk, and so Richard Pryor was one of my big inspirations, and like I had heard he like tried to set himself on fire. So I tried to set myself on fire, which like luckily it didn't fucking work. And then like I straight up was like, what are you doing? And I said to myself, this is not healthy, this is not right. And thank God I had that, you know,
of course,
moment of realization. I didn't even get past the point of like dousing myself in lighter fluid. Like I didn't like I took it out and like started to put it on my like clothes, and I was like, you're stupid. Go. So I like called my friend Loryn, and she drove me to the hospital, and they checked me in for a couple days. Okay. And my parents knew why I was there, but they told my little sisters that I had a stomach ulcer.
Oh, is why you were
like,
there?
Protect them from like knowing the truth.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
Wow. Like, did they ever find out?
Oh no, they knew. No. My parents knew why I was there. Oh, no, my sisters?
Oh, your sister. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Okay.
My parents, they told my little sisters at the time that I was there because I had a stomach ulcer.
Okay, but you were there for 3 days. Okay.
I was there for 3 days because I tried to kill myself.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
That's what they told, they told the family that because...
Wow.
They didn't want it to seem like...
Yeah.
So another, like, big thing with my parents, and I love my parents so much, but, like, a big thing for them is like just how everyone sees us like as a family.
Oh, 100%. Where are you from?
Here.
What
city?
From what part of the city?
I grew up in this area actually.
Oh, really? Did you go to like private school?
Or? Yeah, so I grew up in this area, and I went to Pritzker Elementary for
Oh my god, my step siblings went there.
And then I did some like acting work as a kid, and then I transferred to private school actually right there, Mount Carmel.
Okay.
Right up the street from the Laugh Factory of Chicago.
Okay. So no, my stepsiblings didn't go there, but they're friends with the Pritzkers, like they're like billionaire. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. But they went to Parker.
Oh wow.
So they're like So they lived like in this area kind of, and like downtown and stuff. Like they've moved. But I think that's why I asked you where you're from, because like this is always like facade. Like we need to protect our image before we protect ourselves. Yeah. And it's like very
I mean, it's like my dad's friends with a lot of rich guys whose kids go to schools like Parker and Latin, and like, you know, I don't blame him. Like, you know, my parents like to, especially when things were not good financially, like they liked to protect and hide and like cover as much as possible the like cracks in the family and like the foundation of you know what I mean, like that thing of like just, well, if we look good, fake it till you make it, but there's like a fine line of like fake it till you make it and like lie about everything and hide everything so that you seem like better people than you are.
Of course. And did that ever like, did you know that they were doing that?
No, not until, I mean, I got sober from drinking like 2 years ago.
Okay, good for you, dude.
Thank you. But it's not even been a year since I like started working the steps like of AA. So,
okay,
like,
so you were sober, but you weren't like.
I was dry drunk and like I was still smoking weed a lot and like, you know, using like prescription meds that were not mine.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, for the first year of my sobriety.
Okay.
Of alcohol and like other like hard drugs, but.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. You know, I didn't know that I was an alcoholic at this point. I didn't know I was a sex and love addict at this point.
Okay.
I didn't know I had these like control issues where I like wanted to be in control of everything. So I would like, I mean, I was a pathological liar for like most of my life.
Okay.
Just because that's what I was taught. Like, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me that my parents were lying about where I was for those 3 days to the rest of my family. Like,
okay, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so you think like those tendencies kind of like were projected on you maybe?
Yeah.
A little bit.
It's interesting because on one hand my dad would like definitely like punish us a lot if we lied. But it was only if he caught us lying, like, and he would say, well, it's like white lies are okay. Like, you could say certain things to get out of like parking tickets and stuff, but like, you know, like I don't know, It is interesting because I've just recently started, like, you know, working on, so, like, in the 12 steps.
Yeah, and my brother was in them for, I know about them, so I'm familiar, but yeah.
So, you know, the 4th step, like, you go through, like, all of your patterns and all of your resentments and figure out why you are
the way you are.
Psycho that you are.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just journaling your whole life. You
basically just do a chart of, like, you know, what you're mad at or what you're afraid of. And
oh my god, that's a lot of work.
It is, and like, it's now, like, now I get to do that for the rest of my life. You know, anytime something comes up, but like, I don't know, like, there were a lot of things that like, I was like, oh, this comes from the fear that I've always had that, I can't look stupid or foolish or like I don't know what I'm doing or like I don't know what I'm talking about or ugly. Because that's just like bad. Like,
yeah,
because with my mom, like, she is a former model, like, you know, pageantry queen, like, she's beautiful, and that's, like, her proudest thing is that she's pretty. Like,
okay.
Oh, God, I hope they don't see this. They won't. Don't tag me on Facebook. No, like.
I won't put it on Facebook.
They, like, they're very like surface level people and so
okay
yeah so like but then like with the suicide attempt and then going back to school after that, like, having some people know, having most people not, but I had like a couple close friends that I told like that's why I was in the hospital, like, and it was good because it was over a holiday weekend, like, so nobody really suspected. Like,
right, it's not like you were missing class or anything.
I think I didn't miss any class.
Okay.
Because it happened on a Friday night, and I got out on, like, Tuesday morning or something before class, and I just, like, went from the
oh my god,
like, two viewpoints, like, in
exactly
Black Box Theater. I'm just doing, like, little, like, crawling around on the ground, like,
did you major in theater?
I did.
Okay.
And my first boy, the guy was a theater major too, and like.
Oh, that you were.
That I was like in love with, and the one who broke up with me, and then like we were in the same class for the first year, and then our second year, like I think it was our second semester of freshman year, we auditioned to switch from BA to BFA, and I got BFA and he didn't, and that's like when the relationship kind of like started to fall apart because it was like,
oh yeah, because he didn't get it. Okay.
He would be like, well, you know, like, just so you know, like, I can't marry another actor because like one of us has to have like a real job, so like.
What? That's so weird.
I know.
Because there's a ton of actors that are married.
I know.
And it works.
Like, one of us is going to need to provide for the family.
You guys could both. I mean, that's weird, but.
So stupid.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that you said that you come from here and like that the whole image thing, because like, I feel like sometimes like that's how my town was.
Are you from here?
I'm from Deerfield.
Okay.
So it's kind of like similar, where it's like the suburb version of Parker and Latin and like Pritzker and like Walter Payton and stuff.
Pritzker was different when in the 90s.
Okay.
It was a little like it was because Wicker Park wasn't as like gentrified as it is now, so it was a mix.
Okay.
It was actually Pritzker when I was there was predominantly like Black and Latinx kids, and like this is fucked up. It was kind of segregated because like there was a program that was called, I hate this so much, but the gifted program. Just call it, like if you call it accelerated learning, like that gets the point across, I guess.
Right.
But like, you know, there was that program, and then there like, so it was in, I don't know if they call it that anymore, but it was like the gifted program and the regular program. I hate that. It's gross, but yeah. They
had that at our school too.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break. And we are back from break. So we're going to talk about like a couple of things like AA. Are you okay?
Yeah, I burped. Oh
okay, you're just
like I look terrified. Oh my god.
Programs, how you got into them, what they're like, how you feel about them, and then how like I know like you were in the movie School Rock and kind of like how that contributed to depression, anxiety, codependency, like all the things. Yeah, or like yeah. 100%.
Totally. Well, let's start there. From the childhood stuff, like, yeah, I don't know. I was always like the weird kid because I was not athletic. I was always like music was my thing, and I would like and all the kids knew that like I couldn't hang out after school because I had to go to music class. Like that was just like a thing because I would go multiple times a week. It was serious. Like I would go multiple times a week for a different, like, because I would have like a private lesson, a group lesson, and then like a like musicianship class or like a music theory class, all at the same like the Music Institute, which is in Evanston. So like I was just this nerdy little kid, and like I was like taller than all the other kids.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like one of those like like a supermodel who like is like I was bullied because I was tall.
Yeah, you're like I was gawky actually.
Gawky and had bags under my eyes that I still have, and I was not cute.
You don't have bags under your eyes? Are you kidding?
I put stuff on.
I do too, but you
but like I
say that again. I had an audition today. And I'm also really gawky and tall.
I don't see myself. I now see myself as an attractive, beautiful woman, but like when I was a kid, I hated myself. Like I would look in the mirror and think, ew, like and I had this like thought that like, okay, well, all my family and you know my mom and my dad and my grandma, my you know relatives all say that I'm this beautiful little princess, but like when I look in the mirror, I see an ugly little troll, and it's like I think everyone's just lying to me that my parents are like hiring people to like say nice things about me.
That's anxiety.
Like,
yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Classic like Truman Show.
Oh my god, yes.
You know, and when I got School of Rock, I was like, so I'd never auditioned for a movie before because absolutely not. Like how?
Yeah.
You know? And I got it through like the music stuff because I was playing guitar when I was like 4. And
oh my god, that's young.
NPR show when I was like 9 that they would have kids on to play classical music, and then they'd do like a little interview, and the casting people from School of Rock heard my interview and thought like, hey, that's the right age, they're you know, that's cool, she's a guitarist and she's kind of charming and whatever. I was like dorky and cute in my interview, and they called me in and I got it, and like I didn't know what any of it meant. I didn't know like who Mike White or Rick Linklater was. I knew Jack Black, but I was like, this is okay. I get to leave school for a couple months.
Right.
And where was it?
At New York. Okay.
Shot in New York. Excuse me, I've got a little bit of a cold.
No, I'm like I have a fever.
Oh no.
I'm like, hey.
I'm dying right now.
Yeah. It's like very low, but it's fine.
But yeah, I like remember being on set and like all of the kids kind of had this similar like, you know, Underdog Vibe. Because they were all, like, weirdo dorks, too.
Yeah.
Which is good. Like, I mean, good job to the casting directors. Good job, Claire Simon. Thank you for all you do.
Shout out.
Shout out, Claire. But, yeah, like, it was a lot of that. Like, and we were all this kind of little family. We were all in love with each other. We were obsessed. Like, our moms all became best friends. We were all super tight during the filming. Okay. And there were not really many, like, ruffled feathers or anything in that. Except for there was one kid who got fired, like, 2 weeks in. I still don't know why he got fired, but he got a Verizon commercial, which was cool.
He left School of Rock to be in a Verizon commercial?
No, I think he got fired from School of Rock.
And then
like, a couple years later, I was watching TV, and he was in a Verizon commercial. I was like, okay, good for you.
Yeah.
But
I don't think that's, like, much better, but he's still, yeah.
I wish him well. Couldn't tell you his name. I don't remember.
Yeah. Somewhere in the
Martin.
universe.
Always Martin. It was Martin. Anyway. So, yeah, we're filming, and I had, it was a lot of pressure, obviously, because, you know, camera. Like, even now, like, I mean, I love working on camera.
Yeah.
Like, it's honestly my favorite way to work. But, like, even now, like, just knowing that this thing is recording me, I'm like, hi. Like, and I've never had hands before. I don't know what to do with them.
Yep. Yeah.
And, like, that's how it was when I was on the film. Because that was absolutely my first time having lights and, like, a room
crew
full of people. Like, just,
right.
Like,
yeah. The little, like, dusty microphone that, like, hangs down.
And,
yeah.
Like, you know, the whole thing of, like, having, like, because a lot of people don't realize that, like, being on film is, like, 10% acting and 90%, like, being out of the way. So, like, you just kind of have to, like, do your thing, like, direction, say your line, and then if you have an exit, you have to, like, kind of just be...
Yup. I heard that there was people that, like, would film in, like, these top-notch movies, like, produced by, like, the best directors, and they, like, would have to, like, after their lines, just duck down in a ball.
Yeah.
Because, like, they just, like, couldn't be in the way.
It's, like, it is glamorous and stuff. But,
right.
Like, it's also hilarious. So,
yeah. Because, like, you don't think that that's what it is.
Like, you have a mic pack, like, burning your flesh. Like,
oh, my God. Yeah.
It's
how old were you?
10.
Oh, my, that's so young.
Yeah, and, like, it was a lot of the kids' like, first movie. There were a couple that had done stuff before, like, pilots or commercials or whatever, but it was my first time, and I was super intimidated by the whole thing, and, like, literally, my mom's upstairs, like, watching me on a monitor, and, like, it was just, like...
Oh, wow.
So, there were certain times where, like, they were trying to get, God bless them, a close-up of me, and they would, like, be here, and I'd be, like, I couldn't stop looking in the camera. So, like, they cut a lot of my stuff because I was so shy and so terrified. And you can even see it, like, you know, there'll be shots where I'm just, like, standing in the corner like this. And so, yeah, and then, like, of course, going back to school, I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. Like, people are going to, you know, finally see me for who I am and love me and accept me. And of course they didn't. Of course I was bullied so much more. And, like, that just led me, like, I was bullied so hard that I had to leave Pritzker. Like, my parents switched me to Mount Carmel.
Wait, but why are you bullied, though? Like, for what?
Because kids are jealous. Like, now I know that they were jealous, but at the time,
it's awful, I'm sure.
It was life and death. Like, I got bullied so hard that, like, there was a girl who was like, you know what, I know I've been mean to you in the past, but I think it's really cool that you did a movie. Can I have your autograph? And then I, like, signed something, and she, like, fucking tore it up in front of me.
No.
Like, it was, like,
that's literally a movie.
I've ever had.
What the movie. Fuck? That's so mean. Kids,
yeah, whatever.
How do you even think of that shit? That's crazy.
Kids are mean.
Yeah. But, like, just the...
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I thought it was more like she was using you, and then she was like, nope, and then just tore it up.
Right in front of my face. It was sad. But
you just start putting all the pieces together of your, like, sloppy signature. Like,
so sad. But yeah, I transferred schools, and then, you know, high school, people would just, like, scream, like, School of Rock, like, at me and that's just, like, my identity was just, like, I did this one thing, and that's, you know, and it was still very fresh when I was in high school too. It was like, you know, it had only been like 4 years since the thing came out, and it was, you know.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So, and I still 10, looked the same, and like that was just like my identity. I had people like who were only friends with me for that reason. I had people who hated me just because like they just assumed that I like all I cared about was that like.
Right.
Like, and my mom was like always reading like, because this is back in the day where IMDb had message boards, and like my mom would like read the comments on and like tell me what they said, and she would like read my like I'm aging myself Zanga and stuff, and like just like go through all the comments and be like, this is what that girl said about you, this is what that guy said about you.
Oh no, so she's like,
you, and oh said that no. About you. I'm like, oh my god, like. You care about this more than I do. Blah, right. Blah, blah.
Did that strain the relationship with your mom at all, or no?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because, like, I think,
to be my manager at the time, too, so she was, like, coaching me for auditions that I didn't even really want to go on because I was like, if I get another movie, I'm going to get bullied again. So, like, I straight up would, like, self-sabotage and audition sometimes. Like, I mean, I wanted to do it, but, like, at the same time, I was like, yeah, but I kind of like being, I don't want to be famous, that's for sure. Because this is too much already.
Right.
And, like, at the time, I was like, I'm only doing this because it's, like, what, I don't know, it's what they want me to do.
And it's also, like, when you're young, you don't really have a choice. You're like, I guess.
No.
And you'll do it. You can self-sabotage, but that's the most you can contribute to not doing what you want to do.
Yeah, botching an audition.
Right.
Like, I didn't want to be in Spanglish with Adam Sandler. I'm sorry.
Sorry, guys.
Ultimately, I lost the role.
Yeah.
But
Spanglish, that's funny. Yeah. It was a good movie.
But then, like, you know, going into college too, it was like finally, like, and every time I went to a new school, because I went to 3 different high schools, like,
right.
I, you know, every time I was like, it's an opportunity to start over, but oh no, they knew going in who I was, because this is a small city, unfortunately, and you know, everyone fucking knows each other, especially CPS kids, like, all know each other.
No, my siblings, like, the school they went to, there was like 80 kids in their class.
Yeah.
Everyone knows each other.
Everyone knows each other, and like, so.
And then
college,
if everyone,
like, finally, and then I'm in college, and like I'm in the dining hall, and somebody's coming up to me, and somebody goes, "Oh, are you the girl from School of Rock?" And I'm like, "No." I would like say no sometimes, just to avoid having the fucking conversation.
Of course.
If I say no, I'm a fucking bitch for who's not grateful, and if I say yes, I am, that opens up the opportunity for them to bully me and ask me why I didn't get a fucking bass solo in the end, and I have to explain to them that I had anxiety, and it's just like. I'm even, like, a little bit verklempt talking about it right now.
Yeah.
Like...
I'm sorry.
Oh, no,
I'm sorry. It's just funny because it's like,
hilarious.
I get... Yeah. But I get it in the sense of why I'm laughing is because, like, it's one of those things where it's like, you literally cannot win for losing.
Right.
Because, like, yeah.
Yeah, and so, like, I posted something on Twitter recently that, like, ruffled a lot of feathers because I was like, can we get over the School of Rock thing? Like, I swear to God, like, there's gonna be, like, in my fantasy, like, I'm winning an Oscar and I'm on the stage accepting my, like, award and somebody screams out, "Cholo, you got a bass," and I'm like, oh my God, like, that's, I don't want that to be what happens. And then I had a good cry on New Year's Eve, or I guess, like, right after it became midnight. I had a good cry because I was like, oh my God, if 2023 rolls along and School of Rock is, you know, having the 20th anniversary and it's still the biggest credit that I have, I'm gonna kill myself. Like, and I'm not gonna do that. Like, it was a thought I had, and that's like, that's my ism. That's my, like, disease.
Yeah.
That's like straight up disease. Is like,
it's extremes. It's extremes.
I'm very extreme. I was medicated for a while, but I went off my meds because I didn't. Like, the side effects were
but were you on, like, antidepressant, or what were you on?
I was on Lamictal.
I've heard a lot of people are on that. I don't know what it does. I've never taken it.
It's like a non-habit forming SSRI.
Yeah, I'm on an SSRI right now.
And I don't know. I like it leveled out the lows and the highs and, like, made me pretty normal and, like, not normal. I don't like that word, but, like, made me stable for a while, and it did its job. But now I'm like. No, like, if I go to, like, if I hit my quota of, like, I go to at least, like, 2 meetings a week.
Okay.
And, like, you know, meditate and, like, do yoga and take care of myself and eat good.
What do you get at, that's why I wanted to go to, like, meetings and stuff like that, like, well, first of all, like, when did you start going to meetings? What was the point of, like, I know I'm an alcoholic, but I'm not gonna go to meetings, and then...
My first ever meeting of anything was SLAA.
Okay.
Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous.
Okay, yeah.
There's not really much of that in Chicago, but New York and LA has a good community for it, and there are some here. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I reached a low in my relationships where I was like, why am I like this? Like, why is it every time I get broken up with, I want to die? Why is it that like I feel incomplete without filling my heart with as many dicks as possible, and it's not working? And it's that like definition of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over expecting a different result.
Right.
But it's like, why do I keep lying to guys? Why do I keep cheating? Why do I keep on like, getting into relationships with people I know are wrong for me?
Yeah, like you see the red flags.
Yeah. And charge at it like a little bull, rather than being like, okay, backing off. Mm-hmm. And so I had reached a point in that, and I went into SLA because I had heard of it from a TV show. Like, there was a character on a TV show called Love. Gillian Jacobs' character
was that show.
In SLAA, and I was like, I wonder if that's a real thing. And then I was living in LA at the time, and I was like, oh, it is a real thing. So I went there first.
Good for you. That's great. You just like look. That takes a lot of initiative though, to like look it up and then be like, I'm going.
Well, I looked it up for like 3 months before actually.
Okay, so it wasn't like a one-time thing. So you just like researched.
No, yeah, I like once I watched the show, I was like, oh no, that's a real thing. Oh, it is a real thing. There's a meeting down the street from where I live in LA. Okay, I'm gonna go this week, and then I kept on pushing it off because I was afraid. It is embarrassing to be at your first meeting of a 12-step program and say, this is my first meeting. Mm-hmm. Like, because then what will happen is they'll like direct their shares at you and be like, welcome newcomer, it's so, and like for me that was a lot. Like, so when I actually did end up going into AA like a couple months after that, I didn't say it was my first meeting. I kind of just like when they ask, cause they typically ask at AA meetings if it's your first meeting, right? And I kind of just sat in the back and was like, no. But now, like, going as regularly as I do, and like actually working the program and caring about it so much, and like it is probably the biggest part of my life. Bigger than work, bigger than my relationship with my partner, my family, whatever. Yeah, it's the primary thing in my life. Now I kind of like wish in my first AA meeting that I had said something. Because, it is now like going to meetings and seeing there's like this, young girl like in her first meeting, right? And, like she's brave enough to say it. I'm like, I'm so egotistic that I couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Well, it's also like really intimidating because like it's like everyone knows so much that you don't when you first go.
Yeah, because it's like you're walking into the room and everyone's speaking a language that you don't know.
Oh my God, 100%.
You're hearing God for the
yeah, right.
Word, and
I went to.
Some people are allergic to the word God. And like, I was definitely that when I first came into.
And then they teach you that it could be any higher power and it doesn't have to be God,
it could be the moon. It could be.
Right. It's something that like helps you kind of get out of like whatever you're going through.
It's a replacement.
Exactly. Like, so I went to I think I went to like Families Anonymous. Mm-hmm. Is that what it's called? FA.
Sure.
Okay, I went there like once. Yeah, I went there once and like it was very like it definitely felt like exactly what I expected because my brother lived in a sober living home, and the leader of that has like 7 sober living homes in the city, and he's kind of like my dad now. Like he kind of became my father figure through everything because my mom got super close with him because she like didn't know how to help my brother, and then they became close, and then now we're actually just like friends.
Nice.
Which is amazing.
How much time sober does your brother have?
My brother is like still using. He's like on and off all the time, but like he's still using right now. That's okay. Yeah. But yeah, he like, so this guy like the reason why the FA thing was exactly what I expected was because I'd heard so much about NA from Alan, the guy who runs all those programs, that like going to Families Anonymous or Al-Anon or all those programs like wasn't really a surprise to me. Like they said the same thing. It did feel a little like sometimes I can't take it seriously because I'm such a like silly person that when sometimes they're just like, hello Drew, I start laughing because I'm like, come on, can we just cut the shit here. We're all addicts. We're all pieces of shit. Let's just cut to the chase.
It is
interesting.
It takes a while to get used to the routine of it, but now I'm like 2 years in, and I love the routine. I love AA, and I love, like, honestly, I was in England with my boyfriend for the holidays, and we were in, like, not London, we were in a small town, like, and I was afraid because I was like, I'm gonna be here for a week and no meetings, and, like, I looked up where the nearest one was. There was one, like, a 15-minute walk away from where we were staying.
My God.
And I was like, great. On Christmas Eve, I went, and I, like, saw a bunch of people vaping outside of a church, and I was like, yay, I'm home. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Nice, because it's like, you can walk into a room, and they don't sound like you. They're all British, and they're all, like, older and white, and, they have different amounts of sobriety and whatever, but, like, you're still speaking the same language, and it feels...
You're all the same.
Good. We're all, maybe different, like, histories and
right,
stuff,
but you're all, like,
same
tendencies. Exactly. Like, you're all, I mean, it's not, like, hard to pick it apart, really. Like, you're all, same tendencies and stuff. And, like, I say that just because, like, Alan, even though his addiction manifests differently than my brother, they're both, like, the same people. Exactly. They're both manipulative, and, like, when they're at it, they're using the most manipulative, whatever.
But even if you're not, I mean, like, it's just, like, somebody said in a meeting the other day, my disease isn't alcohol, my disease is alcoholism, and it's like the ism is what it is. Like,
right, 100%.
The manipulation, the trying to control, the anxiety, the social awkwardness, and the drama, like the inner saboteur, like, and all that.
Yeah.
That says 20.
Okay.
But
you could wrap it up soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could I just ask what do you think the hardest step for you was?
I'm not through all 12 yet, but...
What are you on right now?
I'm on my amends, so I'm...
Isn't that...
amends of 9.
I didn't know that was 9. Okay. Oh my God. Wow.
It's later in the...
I was going to ask you if you've done that step yet.
No. So I'm not even, like, I haven't even made a single amends yet. I'm, like, writing letters at this point.
Okay.
So...
Have you done one yet?
No. I've written them out. Like,
but you haven't, like...
But I haven't actually, like, met in person with somebody. I'm excited to do it. I've been on the receiving end of amends from, like, exes who are in the program now, and, like, one comedian, like, I'm not gonna name names, but I had a stand-up comedian who like, was kind of abusive to me in a relationship, who, like, emailed me an amends letter, and I was like, I asked my sponsor the other day, I was like, I got an amends email once, and she was like, that's not amends, like, they didn't do it.
Just do it face to face.
Yeah, be better. Just, like, be better. Don't
email.
You're not supposed to make amends to people that like, if it opens up, like, well, like, I can't make amends to any of my exes because that could open up doors that should remain closed. If that makes sense. Oh, okay. 100%. That makes sense. Harm, like,
right.
That's, like, the main, But
so it's people you have, like, relationships with now. Pretty much, and people that you owe it to or whatever for whatever reason, for sure.
Girl I did something shitty to in high school or whatever.
Whatever.
Or, like, a family friend who, like, I embarrassed at a party. Mm-hmm. It's like literally big amends, little amends, like, but that's, like, just the cool thing about the steps is that, like, you're doing them for the rest of your life now. Like, you're always admitting that you're powerless and that your life is slightly not manageable. And it's great because you are not striving for perfection, like, ever. It's progress, not perfection. And you're not trying to be perfect at AA. You're not trying to be perfect at being sober. Like, you're just trying to have a manageable life. Right.
100%. I think that's what people, like, get misconceptions is like, the reason why people are so 100% in AA isn't to be perfect at it. It's literally to manage your life, because you can't, if your life is unmanageable, you have to put your whole, because usually your whole life isn't being unmanageable, like when you're unmanageable, so you have to put your whole life into something else that's going to help you manage your life. And I think that I know all about it, and I've obviously, like, You've been in certain, I've just known, like Al-Anon. Yeah, and I've, like, Alan tells me, like, oh, I'm doing this step. He reworks the steps. Like, he's done the 12 steps, so he just keeps reworking them over and over. Yourself, with sponsees, with... And he's saved multiple people's lives, like, all the time. And there's so many people I've met that have died, like, a couple months later. You meet a lot of more people that you will know that die. in that group because it's so easy to relapse and everyone's like, oh, they're not an addict anymore, right? And I'm like, no, this guy was clean
forever.
He was clean for 20 years and then overdosed. Like, that literally happens. 20 years. That's literally, like, basically how long I've been alive. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. And people don't understand, like, that's a whole nother
It's a serious disease, and now that I know I have it, like, because I didn't know I had it until 2 years ago. I thought like it was normal the way I was drinking and using, and I thought it was normal the way I was dating, and like that this was just me having like a slutty phase and me having a party phase. No, like I was like waking up in beds that I didn't know how I got there, or like there were nights where I was like, I'm home. Like, how did that
right,
happen?
exactly.
You know? And that was like every time I drank, or like just like doing like going out of my way to like hurt people, like because I was feeling sorry for myself, like whatever, and then being like, how dare you not like me, like to people that I like royally fucked over. So it didn't add up, and now I'm like, oh, looking at it, I'm like, yeah, I wasn't a shitty person, I was a sick person who didn't know they needed help, and thankfully I got it, and now I'm like in therapy. I love my therapist. She's 3 years younger than me, and I love that for her. I get to see her on Monday.
That's good.
Love her. And
that's good, dude. So I was gonna just wrap up kind of quickly. Where can people find you? Any like exciting shows coming up, or like?
Actually, yes. I am at Becca Julia Brown on Instagram and Twitter. I don't really do Facebook, but I do have a fan page. And it's just my name. And then I have an amazing show coming up on January 20th, Monday, January 20th at the Hideout. That's a really fun 7 p.m. It's just me. I'm gonna be doing an hour of stand-up and music.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Yeah. That's amazing.
I'm gonna have a full
that venue's super fun.
Yeah, my like I've never done this before, but I'm doing my like songs with a full band for the first time. So
that's great. I should come to that.
To LA, like,
text me and tell me when that is again, because so I'll remember. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Anything else you want to say? Any last final words on Doing Time?
Like, not to be preachy or anything, but like,
no, you're good.
If you have something, like if you have maybe the idea that you're like, I have an addiction, like reach out to somebody sober, and like that for me is like the biggest honor in the world is when somebody reaches out and asks me like, hey, like I know you're sober, I think I'm having trouble, like can you help me?
And it's probably the best feeling in the world for you.
It is nice, and like I genuinely love like being of service to other people who are struggling with addiction, who are in or out of the program. I promise I won't like try to convert you into a new religion. I don't believe in like Daddy, Sky, Father, God.
Yeah.
And I won't try to push anything down your throat. I just know that there's resources out there and you're not alone.
Cool. All right, thanks for watching Doing Time.
Bye.